Hello, everyone. Today, I invite you to listen to a very touching story about love and sacrifice called The Gift of the Magi. Before we begin, imagine something for a moment. It is Christmas Eve. The streets are full of lights. People are buying gifts. Children are laughing. But inside a very small apartment in New York City, a young woman sits quietly by the window in her hand. She holds only $1.87, and she wants to buy a Christmas gift for the man she loves more than anything in the world. She has no money, no job, and only one day left before Christmas. But sometimes, the most beautiful gifts in life do not come from money. They come from love. Let us begin the story. A small home in New York, many years ago. In a busy part of New York City, there lived a young couple. The husband's name was James Carter, but everyone called him Jim. His wife's name was Lily Carter. They were young, they were poor, but they loved each other very deeply. They lived in a very small apartment. The apartment had only 3 rooms, a small bedroom, a tiny kitchen, and a narrow living room. The paint on the walls was old. The window frame was broken in one corner. The mailbox downstairs did not work. Sometimes letters simply fell on the floor. But none of these things made Lily unhappy, because every evening when Jim came home from work, she felt like the richest woman in the world. One cold winter afternoon, Lily sat at the small wooden table. In front of her were a few coins. She counted them slowly. $1.80, 87 cents. She counted again, still the same. $1.87, and tomorrow was Christmas. Lily sighed and leaned her head on the table. She had saved every penny for months. When she went to the market, she walked from shop to shop to find the cheapest vegetables. She did not buy meat often. Sometimes she skipped lunch just to save a few coins. But even after all this saving, she still had only $1.87. Suddenly, tears began to fall from her eyes. She whispered softly, "I want to buy Jim a beautiful gift. But how can I do that with this little money?" 2 precious treasures. Lily stood up and walked to the mirror on the wall. She looked at her reflection in the Carter family. There were only 2 true treasures. The first treasure belonged to Jim. It was a gold pocket watch. This watch had belonged to Jim's father, and before that, it had belonged to his grandfather. Jim loved this watch very much, but there was one problem. The watch had no chain. He often kept it inside his pocket and rarely showed it. The second treasure belonged to Lily. It was her beautiful hair. Her hair was long, soft, and brown like warm honey when she let it fall down. It reached below her waist. Sometimes people on the street turned their heads just to look at it. Lily slowly removed the pins from her hair. The long hair fell down around her shoulders like a shining river. She looked at herself in the mirror. Then, suddenly, her eyes lit up with an idea. Lily quickly put on her coat. She wrapped a scarf around her neck and ran outside into the cold street. The winter wind blew strongly. Snow was beginning to fall. After walking for several blocks, she stopped in front of a small shop. Above the door was a sign, Madame Sophia, Hair Goods. Lily took a deep breath. Then she walked inside. Behind the counter stood a tall woman with sharp eyes. "Can I help you?" the woman asked. Lily spoke quietly. "Do you buy hair?" The woman nodded. "Yes, I buy hair." "Take off your hat. Let me see." Lily slowly removed her hat. Her beautiful brown hair fell down like silk. The woman looked carefully. Then she said simply, $20. Lily did not hesitate. "Please cut it." Less than 10 minutes later, Lily walked out of the shop. Her long hair was gone. Now her hair was short and curly. But in her hand, she held $20. She smiled with excitement. Now she could finally buy a gift for Jim. For the next 2 hours, Lily walked through many shops. She looked at watches. She looked at rings. She looked at books and ties, but none of them felt right. Then, finally, in a small jewelry store window, she saw it, a simple platinum watch chain. It was elegant and perfect for Jim's watch. Lily's heart jumped with joy. "This is the one," she whispered. She bought the chain for $21. After the purchase, she had only 87 cents left. But she did not care. She hurried home with a big smile. When Lily arrived home, she looked at herself in the mirror. Her hair was very short now. She touched it nervously. "Oh dear," she said softly. "I look like a little boy." She worried. "Will Jim still think I am beautiful?" But then she remembered the watch chain. Her face brightened again. She quickly prepared dinner. Soup, bread, and a little meat. Then she sat by the door and waited. Her heart beat faster with every passing minute. At exactly 7 o'clock, the door opened. Jim walked inside. He looked tired. His coat was thin. The cold winter air followed him into the room. But when he saw Lily, he stopped. He stood completely still. His eyes became wide. He stared at Lily without speaking. Lily felt nervous. "Jim, don't look at me like that," she said quickly. "I sold my hair. I sold it to buy you a Christmas gift. It will grow back, I promise." Jim blinked slowly. "You sold your hair?" "Yes," Lily said. "But do you still love me?" "I'm still the same Lily." Jim looked at her for a long moment. He began to laugh, gently, and he pulled Lily into his arms. "Of course I love you," he said. "Nothing can change that." Jim's surprise. Jim reached into his coat pocket. He took out a small package. "I bought something for you too," he said. Lily opened the package quickly. Inside a box were beautiful silver combs. They were decorated with tiny jewels. Lily gasped. She knew these combs. She had seen them many times in a shop window. They were very expensive. She had dreamed about them for months, but now her hair was too short to wear them. Tears filled her eyes. They're beautiful. Jim, she said softly, my hair will grow again. Then she smiled brightly. Oh, wait, I also have a gift for you. She ran to the table and picked up the watch chain. Look, she said excitedly. Now you can wear your watch proudly. Give me your watch, Jim. Let's try it. But Jim did not move. Instead, he sat down slowly. He smiled kindly. Then he said gently, Lily, I sold my watch. I sold it to buy your combs. The true meaning of love. For a moment, the room was silent. Then both of them began to laugh. They laughed until tears came to their eyes. Neither gift could be used now, but somehow the gifts had become more valuable than ever because they showed something deeper, something greater. They showed love, pure love. Love that was ready to sacrifice everything. That night, they ate their simple dinner together. The watch chain rested quietly on the table. The beautiful combs sparkled under the light. They could not use their gifts yet, but that did not matter, because they had already given each other the greatest gift of all. Their heart. A neighbor visits later that evening. Their old neighbor, Mrs. Wilson, knocked on the door. She had baked cookies for Christmas. When she saw Lily's short hair, she was surprised. What happened to your beautiful hair? Lily smiled. I traded it for love. Mrs. Wilson laughed warmly. Well, she said, that is the best trade anyone can make. A quiet Christmas night outside. Snow began to fall softly over the city. Lights shone in the windows. Children sang Christmas songs. Inside their small apartment, Lily and Jim sat close together. They held each other's hands. They were poor. They had very little. But their love was rich, and in that tiny apartment, on that cold Christmas night, two young people discovered the true meaning of giving. Long ago, in the Christmas story, there were wise men called the Magi. They traveled far to bring gifts to baby Jesus. Their gifts were gold, incense, and the taste of love. They were precious gifts. But the gifts that Jim and Lily gave each other were also wise, because they gave what they valued most. They gave their treasures. That is why their story is called The Gift of the Magi. The lesson of the story, love, is not measured by money. Love is measured by sacrifice. Sometimes the greatest gift is not something you buy. It is something you give up for someone else. And when two people love each other this way, even the smallest home can become the richest place in the world. Thank you for watching and listening to the touching love story, The Gift of the Magi. This story reminds us of the beautiful and emotional love between two people. If you enjoyed this story and found it meaningful, please subscribe, like, comment, and share to support our channel. We look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Goodbye, and see you again soon.